To Elevator TV and Radio. You are listening to Elevator TV Radio.
It's that time again. Hey, Crystal Blaze, my darling, my love, my sweetie, my sugar pie. But I'm coming to me now for all these things. But you know, I love you, that. All right, good morning and welcome to this possible fee on Elevated TV Radio. I got a little bit of crooked voice, cried. Oh God, I'm losing people, guys. Just buried one and then another one died. Listen, my sisters, I don't have too many of them, and then I'm losing them. Why? Why is that so cruel? Just lost another one again. Stuff. But I gotta do the show, right? So let's get the show started. Hey, Crystal Blaze, how you doing? Love you to heaven and back. Hey, come to give away. Come and do give away. That'll be for me, though. Come and do give away from you. I tell you, just come and doing the giveaway for me now because I'm losing all my sisters. I'm looking for sisters to adopt now. I can't be losing people like this. I need more sisters to adopt. My sister went to go and deliver a beautiful baby girl, and then baby was born, and then she died. Why? Well, let's talk about sports. Let's talk about everything. Answer your questions. Send me your message on 07025000069. Calling on the phone lines. If because of the show I cry. Let's see that one of those things that happens. Calling on the studio line 07025000069. I really don't know if I'll be able to give you a very perfect show today, but I'll try. You know, it's just what it is. I'll try. That's what I can tell you guys. I'll try, but I'm not really in my best element. I'm not really my best self, but we gotta go on. Like, I lived all my life buried only my mom. And now people falling every day. You just think, is it gonna happen to you soon? But I'm just starting my life, right? Let's see how it goes. So if you want to join in on the conversation, if you also want to say anything, maybe you want to tweet about it, it's at Elevator TV Radio, or you can tweet at me at Elevator1 Sports. Okay, so let's get this show on the road to talk about transfer, talk about all the things that are going on, answer your questions on the WhatsApp number. People still sending in messages for this beautiful award that we won, Best Radio and TV. Is it? Yeah. Best Elevator TV, best presented, best sports radio and TV of the year. We're still getting a whole lot of messages. Thank you guys for all of the good messages. Thank you for somebody sent me a song, a shout out song. 30 seconds was nice. Thank you very much yesterday. Thanks for all of the messages on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram, everywhere. God bless you. I appreciate. Couldn't have done it without you guys anyway. So it's not as if we did some magic here and then the magic just gave us this award. It is knowing that you all are committed to this radio and TV. That's why we got it. And for those of you who are engaged, massively engaged with the podcast, thank you is all I can say. Thank you, and thank you once again. You guys are the real MVP. We're just here stirring it, but you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, like I've always said, let's get the YouTube channel really engaged. If you're there, don't just view, try as much as possible to get in on the conversation, because we are actually judged based on engagement. We're judged based on engagement. So not just because people are viewing, because sometimes, I don't know, the algorithm for YouTube is crazy. If you can have 20,000 people viewing, if they're not engaging in terms of commenting, liking, it is considered that it is spam view, so you don't really get the benefit of those ones. So please, when you engage with us, if you are like, if we have 10 people 10 people, please drop a comment. Say something, give an opinion. You have something to say. So today, first message I got, there's a whole lot of them. I don't know if I can read every one of them, but one message that I got just remind me of a beautiful piece that Adriana Kingsley wrote. But I got a message like yesterday evening. I'm going to read it now. Hi, my name is Kes. I'm writing you from Germany. I'm a fan of FC Barcelona. Love Pep Guardiola, even though I'm not a fan of Manchester City. But this whole swap deal of Frankie de Jong and Bernardo Silva, what do you think? Is this a good move in the right direction? Who benefits the most? Who gets the best player in this switch? And who gets the worst end of the stick? Well, I don't know anybody. If anybody gets the worst end of the stick, I'm just confused. Like Adela Kingsley wrote, and I think he wrote it better. I don't know whatever I would say now that would match what he wrote, but I'm just going to like copy. Okay, Adela Kingsley is in here now. I'm just going to copy and paste the brother because what he wrote is so good that you don't even need to try to write something else. So this is what I would say, trying to paraphrase it. With Frankie de Jong, you have a player that can play from attacking midfield all the way down to centre back. That's who Frankie de Jong is. But he doesn't have the guile and craft of Bernardo Silva. Now, Bernardo Silva must have a dream to win the Champions League. Man City have never been so close to winning the Champions League like they are now this season. Going to Barcelona does not look like a team that will win the Champions League in the next 2 or 3 seasons. Okay, I'm sorry for Barcelona fans if you guys are angry. I'm sorry, but that's what I see. Things can change because you have the man with the Midas touch, who is second only to Florentino Perez in terms of the Midas touch in the current era of football. Back in the day, it was Silvio Berlusconi. Then there was Roman Abramovich with Marina Granovskaia, whatever her name is. And then you now have the man with the real man with the Midas touch, Florentino Perez, and then there is Juan Laporta. Okay, so Juan Laporta is a magician, but even sometimes a magician can die doing his own trick. And the kind of problem that Bartomeu caused Barcelona is so hard that even Houdini cannot pick the lock. So when you look at what Xavi's got to work with, his options are very slim. There is debt, there is salary over the costs. Okay, that's paying about 500. They're over the top. 500 million in salaries, man. That's like way over the top. They need to calm down. And Frankie de Jong, the thing about having Frankie de Jong is that you will not need to increase his salary as it goes because his contract demand, his bonuses go up based on number of games played and all that, and you can't just keep him on the bench. So that's why they want a way to let him go. I think that Barcelona would really have loved to have the money instead of the player. But I know the trick that they're doing. Miran Pjanic and which other player that they swap. So this whole swap deal will not amortize the salary in such a way that they don't have to record it for this year. They might record it for next year and push it up based on the years of the deal. So I think that's the kind of thing that they're trying to do so that they can cut their wage bill. But then Bernardo Silva might also come with him taking a big salary because if you're taking him from Man City, you should pay him either what Man City are paying him right now or more. But Barcelona have shown that they have a trick of negotiating people's salary down. Aubameyang was earning 350. He came to Barcelona, it's any less. Now, Sadio Mane all of a sudden on 250 is highest any African player. So there is a way they will do that. Like, I really don't understand it completely. But let's talk about who benefits the most. I think that Man City will benefit the most, owing to the fact that if they let Bernardo Silva go, it means that they will do everything to keep the assassin, the silent assassin, Ike Gundogan. And Gundogan will not have to play a lot more game. It also means that Kevin De Bruyne will have to step up to play consistent games as well, and then they can also adapt Mahrez to play a lot more games. So they are not losing. They are not losing bodies like, oh, we cannot replace it. It's not irreplaceable to say. But what it brings to the party is so good that it made it easy for them to get over the exit of David Silva. Now, if he goes, it's also going to be a plus for Barcelona because it would help to create pocket of spaces the way Xavi wants to play. Because I think that, coaches get obsessed with their style of play. But Pep Guardiola is obsessed with the way he plays football, with his defensive midfielder and all that. I think Xavi is also obsessed with that tiki-taka style and trying to build a midfielder, have Triquesta of a defensive midfielder, and then Iniesta and Xavi kind of pair. So I guess Bernardo Silva fits the bill more than Frankie de Jong, because Frankie de Jong sometimes get lost in game, and then his IQ is not as high as that of Xavi. Well, any best footballer in the world will have the Xavi IQ anyway. So maybe that's the reason why he wants to let him go. He wants a midfielder that comes with both playing, passing, and scoring. That would help when games are very, very tough. Don't forget that the young players in the team are more. There's Ferran Torres, there's this one, that one. So maybe he's trying to like bring in some experience in case they are not able to get Lewandowski. So if they don't have a centre forward in Lewandowski and Aubameyang goes off in the way he normally goes off, there's still going to be a midfielder who will be a catalyst to make everybody go. So that benefit Barcelona. For Man City, what works is they already know that Fernandinho is gone. So if you get in the Frankie de Jong, it fills in the Fernandinho void very well. And it can also, there are all those crunch games against teams like Burnley, West Ham, Everton, Crystal Palace, where you need players that will put in the bone, you know, like Nigel de Jong when he played for Man City. So they need a player like that. And I think that Frankie de Jong maybe might not be, I mean, it's not a Nigel de Jong, but I think that it would help. So if they have that kind of a player, because what Bernardo Silva really was the guy who doubled in as a midfielder and as a false nine. Now they have Alvarez and Haaland, the beast, the goal beast. I think that they may not need to play like that anymore. So Pep Guardiola is going to let him go. If not let him go, he's going to let him go. It's because you already have an idea that Pep Guardiola is going to change the way his team play this season. That's why it will be confident enough to let a player like Bernardo Silva go. Because for me, even though people say that Kevin De Bruyne is the best player for Man City last season, in my own opinion, Bernardo Silva was the best player last season. The way he shows up and receives those long passes from João Cancelo, the way he turns up in games and unlock, unlockable keys and, punch holes in the defense of the opposition. Those are things that no other person does, but he does it for Man City. So I'm thinking the only reason Pep Guardiola will sign off on him, let's not forget that last season he wanted to leave. Pep Guardiola practically went down on his knees. This is me saying it is figuratively. I didn't see Pep Guardiola kneeling down because people like to take my word out of context. But that's what it means. It went on bended knees to beg him to stay because that team was built with him as the focal point of the first nine. His Maradona run, his Messi run, his movement, twinkle toe like Taminazri at his best was really very instrumental to them winning the league. Now that they have two strikers who are goal scoring machines, okay, and one is established, the other one will take some time to settle in. I think that if they let him go, they are not really going to lose that much because in Ike Gundogan, they have a guy who is an uncelebrated asset. So, just look at it from that angle. And I think this is not a case of who got the worst end of the stick. It's a case of two teams getting what they desire, what they really need instead of what they want. So at Barcelona, they really and truly need Bernardo Silva, meaning that they can do with Sergio Busquets. Because if you think of Barcelona very well, Xavi is going to set up his team in such a way that 90% of the games that they will play, they will dominate possession. So they don't really need to do more work in the defensive side as they will do in the offensive side. And then they will push forward a whole lot. Just like in Spain, nobody is afraid of you. It's not like in England where teams will just come further to that. You could be beating a team in Spain 5-0. They are still coming at you. They don't know how to park the bus in Spain. They are still coming like, oh, we die here. We want to attack you. But, I think that's the way we want to play. So I think that's the reason why that is like that. All right, this is another message. Well, let me read some of the messages that I have across YouTube. Please, guys, let's get engaged a lot more. Okay, Akimbola Lanre said, good morning, boss. Good morning to you. Ibrahim Oluwadamilari said, good morning, boss man. Good morning to you. Victor Malari. I even see City winning the UCL before Barcelona. Obviously, right now, based on the players that they've got, it does look like that. But you see, the thing about football, when City lost that finals to Chelsea, I didn't see any reason why City should lose that finals to those small children. But football happens. Some people are even saying it's the Yaya Toure curse. But let's see anyway how this season goes. Maybe by the time they get to the finals again, Haaland will go and get injured. I don't know. I'm not saying that, but I'm just telling you all of these things are possible. Yeah, this is where we are where we say that there's the Balagat cause that have been there for 100 years. So anything is possible in football. Dichalau for my say good morning, boss. Good morning to you. You say from the dealings of Man City, it looks more like Pep is doing some transformation in the Manchester City team play. He is attempting to refresh the style. It's clear in the two types of strikers they have brought. I agree with you on that one. And also, it does make Pep Guardiola really, really, really unpredictable because it's gone from when he first came in, it was a different style of play with Aguero up there, Bernardo Silva, Yaya Toure in midfield, Vincent Company in defense. So there was a time when the system also changed where the heart of the game was from Fernandinho, and then Rodri came in, and then how he brought in Ruben Dias from nowhere. Nobody saw that signing coming, and Ruben Dias in his first season became the player of the best player of the season in the league. And then now, last season, I think, this is my opinion, I might be wrong, I think for the very first time in Pep Guardiola's career, last season, he won a title the way he wants to play. But I'm also sure he will look at that team and say, my style, what I want is good, but there's something missing. There's something missing, lacking the aggression, lacking the integrity, as some people will say. Allow my Latin maxim now. Lacking that bite that is required in some games. That's how they lost out in the Champions League, because they could have delivered it. So you look at some players that really not lived up. A player like Grealish not lived up, and then Sterling also dropped in his form. It's going to go back to football as it is meant to play. Because if you look at City last season, even though they won the league title, which is very, very good, you still look at Liverpool and say, somewhere in the City team, they are afraid of this Liverpool. So I think Man City now, Pep Guardiola wants to come out, okay, you know what? Let me obliterate this team. I'm never going to get a Messi in my team, but let me put Liverpool where they belong. And then Liverpool are also planning differently. You know, the team, the team is changing. Sadio Mane is going. He's going to be doing his medical today and tomorrow. Might be unveiled, or probably today might be unveiled over the 31.4 or 31.5 million pounds deal to Bayern Munich. And then the players that are coming. Now you now have, instead of runners, you have ball jugglers, people who know how to use the ball. So you have Diego Jota, who also is very, very aerially astute. You have Darwin Nunez. You have the other one that they bought in January, one of the best January transfer. And then you still have Roberto Firmino, who's not leaving. And then you have a Mo Salah, who's more of, it's practically going to be more of a passenger. He's not going to get the chances he gets, but he's a very deadly player. I mean, he's a very deadly player. So he doesn't need too many chances. There are those games where he would punish the opposition. Games like Fulham, thank God they are playing them early. They just might not be in the best of form. But when he gets in his element, those are the kind of game where Mo Salah goes and scores 4 or 5 goals. Okay, they will make up his goal scoring numbers. So I think that the both coaches are really aligning their team to fit in a different form. So let's see how that goes. This one is coming from hi, my name is Brian, all the way from Ireland. I watch your content a lot. Love what you do. I'm not Nigerian, I'm Irish, but I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos. It's not Lagos, it's Lagos. It's not Lagos, the way you write it. Okay? Not Lahgus, it's Lagos. I grew up in Nigeria for a while before I came back to Ireland. Watch one of your video and you said that English coaches are not good. What do you mean by English coaches are not good? Because it's hard for somebody like me to comprehend. I've trained under a few English coaches, love the way they coach and all that. Right. Yeah, I've also had a lot of people say that to me. So Brian, English coaches are not good in the context of the English league. This is the best way that I explain it to you. So if you go to Italy, Italian coaches between 1992, let's use that period of the Premier League now to judge, between 1992 and now, 85 or 95% of the titles that have been won by Italian coaches. If you go to France, same of the same. If you go to Spain, don't even bother. Foreigners hardly come to win that league. The last 2 foreigners that have won that league, or maybe there are 3 foreigners that have won the league, Carlo Ancelotti, Zinedine Zidane, I think Fabio Capello, I don't know, remind me of any other foreigner. I can't really remember. Pellegrini also, did Pellegrini win the league? I can't remember. So, but majorly there are Spanish coaches that are winning the league in Spain. Same in Portugal, same in Germany, same in Belgium, everywhere. It's only in England when not a single English coach have won the league since 1992. And before anybody jump out of the bush and say Alex Ferguson, you cannot go to a Scotsman and tell them that they are English people and they would agree with you. It's never going to happen. So let's not make a Scot person. It's like saying if somebody from Benin Republic come and win Nigerian League, you not say he's a Nigerian. Or a person from Ghana wins the Nigerian League, you say he's a Nigerian. That's not definitely not going to work. So it's the same thing. Scotland is an independent country on its own. They are going to the World Cup as a different country. Your being a Scotsman does not make you an Englishman. So the last person that won the English League was Wilkinson in 1991-92 season when he was the manager for Leeds United. So if you look at it, or 1990-91 season, if I'm not mistaken. If you look at it carefully, no English person have been able to win it. Not just by that. All the English coaches, the best they do is battle relegation, survive relegation. English coaches are 40-point coaches. Okay, when you talk of top class coaches, you always look at it from the foreigners. You take away Alex Ferguson, Jose Mourinho came, won the league. Even when the teams are winning the Champions League in England, Sir Alex Ferguson, Roberto Di Matteo, Rafael Benitez, Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, who's the other coach that won? Those are the coaches, so in this era, English coaches have not really taken any team in England to the very top. Even talking about winning UEFA Cup, we've had foreign coaches win it for. Rafael Benitez won it for Chelsea. Who won it the last time for Chelsea again? Thomas Tuchel won it for Chelsea. Then you have Jurgen Klopp taking the to the finals, Liverpool to the finals, even though they lost, and a few other teams like that. So if you look carefully, the English coaches don't do it. That's why I said that they might be good with the academies that they train. I don't really see the result anyway. But when it comes to top flight coaching, the English coaches are not there. So Brian, no offense to tell you, but okay, Maurizio Sarri is the coach that I was trying to remember. Maurizio Sarri, I've also won it as a foreigner. But I mean, English coaches haven't won it. Even in never do well coach came all the way from Italy with series of not really doing well. Even he was called the thinker man in Italy. He was called the man that's never succeeded. Came to England and used the most unlikely thing to win the Premier League. English coaches don't have that. English coaches at best is, they qualify for Europa Cup or one thing and it's finished. So that's the reason why, and it's been a very, very long time. Even one of the all-time greatest English coach I will talk about, Sir Bobby Robson, who took England to the semi-finals of the World Cup in 1990. Look at his track record. Really not much of success at club level. This is a coach who was able to coach FC Barcelona. So it's not like, he only coached smaller teams. But hey, so Champions League, no major trophy for him. So that's the basis for it. Adijala Ufoma. Okay, I've read that one. Alan Hankunda, he say, and Man U fan, I want to know the speculation about Antony. Thanks. Okay, so Man United are trying to sort out outgoings. Antony is part, they call him the assist specialist. He's part of the plan of Erik ten Hag. Now, Erik ten Hag, like I said yesterday, is really working hard to get players that he can trust, players that he knows, players that understand it, that if he blink, they know why he's blinking. If he wink, they know why he's winking. If he turns left or right or, back or forth, they know what he's saying. And it's not just with Erik ten Hag anyways, with every coach that is out there. And because Erik ten Hag is taking a very, very tough and difficult job, a job that is not as straightforward as we think. Okay, it's a very tough and difficult job because there are some elephants in the room that you have to deal with. Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, the goalkeeper, David De Gea. All of these guys, you need to really get them on your side. But at the same time, it needs a group of players, that he would put together that will represent if you not follow me, these guys will follow me, I will deliver. I can put you on the side. What Pep Guardiola did when he came to Man City. But at the same time, he still knew that there are core old players that he needs to keep, like Aguero. We say they don't see eye to eye. Yaya Toure at the time, Bernardo David Silva, Vincent Kompany, and a few other players. But then there are those who just quickly let go. The Zabaleta guy, the Kevin, the Hart, the Joe Hart guy, and a few other players, because these ones are how he sets his mark to say, look, if you can't shape in, you will ship out. But then there are some players you can't just let go like that. So I think this man wants to also bring his own army, his own spy, his own KGB or CIA or whatever it is called, his own Mossad or MI6, to be the people who will be reporting to him and say, Coach, this is what they're planning, this is what they're doing, this is how the dressing room is going behind your back. Okay, so you better watch out. Oh, this person is aggrieved. You need to find a way to talk to him before he joined the cabal and all those kind of things. Coaches do that, to break the stronghold of the opposition. Remember when Arsene Wenger came to Arsenal, brought in Vieira. Vieira was his first conditional signing before he even signed for the club. Vieira came in, Thierry Henry came in, Nicolas Anelka came in, Whitod came in, Stephen Whitod came in. Just brought in all these players, Christopher Rare, brought in all these players who would be grateful and loyal to him, and they were able to bend the English boys' culture of alcohol and booze and party and all that, because he brought in these players. And then there was also Dennis Beckham, who they all look up to, who was already used to that style. So coaches needs to do that, because sometimes players, you can tell them all the things you want to do. If you don't have somebody to exemplify it, it might be very, very difficult. That's why somebody like Unai Emery failed at Arsenal, not because he's not a good coach. I've always said that it's communication and the fact that he didn't have his own men. He was coaching other people's men. That was his problem. But when he went to Spain, he could speak the language with them, they understand him, and he was in his own territory. It was easy for him to achieve the things that he achieved with Villarreal, taking them to the finals of the UEFA Europa Cup, winning it against Manchester United, and then going all the way to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League following season. For me, was a fantastic achievement with the team that he had, the squad that he had, the group of players that this girl. So I think that's what we want to do. Antony is a very key player for him when he was at Ajax. So he thinks that on two fronts, this is another way to reward him. He's going to come to Man United, play in a bigger league, earn better money, and also be loyal to him. So it's good for pro. I give you an opportunity to earn more money. I give you an opportunity to be seen at a bigger stage, but then you will give me something in return. So I think it's a good one. But then Manchester United as a club need to move fast. This is where, again, it proves to you that when people say it's the coach that is signing players, it's not the coach that's really signing players. Because when people come, oh, coach has spent 1 billion or 500 million, told 10 million. If the coaches are the ones spending players, these coaches would have gone and signed the deal since. But it's just that they need to talk to the board. The board has said, okay, we'll sanction it, we're going to go approve it, we'll go talk to our people, will talk to your people. If your people agree, then we'll sign a deal. That's the way it goes. Indy Okeke say, keep the good work going. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you for being on my show. So let's see how that goes. Beyond the suit of your name, it said the constant ability to modern game is something that is good. Pep and club that has stood Pep and club out. Football is constantly evolving, and that's why people like Wenger couldn't actually keep up. You must be dynamic. I agree with you. Dynamism is the order of the day. Even in the everyday services that we render, even in the way we do things, we must change. We can't stick to the old way. The old way is good. The old time religion. Give me that. Oh, it's good. It's not like it's not good. There are people it works for, but the generations that you need, if you're dealing with volume, if you're dealing with a lot of people, if you're dealing in this world that is highly opinionated, you have to be able to change. And then people try to find you out very fast. What I notice is as we go, observe your children. You see the things that are easy for your children to understand. Compare it to your time when you were that age, you couldn't even comprehend some of these things. It takes you forever to comprehend, but these kids just come out of them naturally. So this generation are people who easily find you out. Usually, when you think, oh, you can stick in one way and do it forever, they already find you out. They've gotten past that stage. They've gotten the hack. All of the secret that makes that something, they found it out. And so you have to every season or even within the season, be dynamic enough, be flexible, be able to chameleon your way, camouflage your way through all of the possible obstacles that are in front of you. Because nobody is really going to stand back and say, Pep Guardiola, come and dominate the league for 10 years. But then Pep is Pep. And that's the thing I say, Pep is Pep. Pep does not know how to play second. It's insatiable. His desire for success. Many other coaches will be very happy to say 4 Premier League titles in 6 years. And then any other coach will be happy. For 22 years, Arsene Wenger won only 3 Premier League titles. So many other coaches will be happy, but not Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola is a different kind of guy entirely. He wants to do 20 Premier League in 20 years. That's the kind of thing he wants to do. Wins again 5-0. He's still not happy that they missed 2 chances in the process. 5-0. Wins again 6-0. He's still telling you that you could have been 10. So I like his insatiable appetite for success. It's just that he needs to put a Champions League crown on it, especially now that people like them, Carlo Ancelotti, just seamlessly walk through Champions League like it's not as hard, like it's an FA Cup game. seamlessly win this thing like a Carabao Cup, okay? And then you realize how a Zidane with a team that is, somehow shaky, having ego, won 3 straight Champions League, like, okay, Pep Guardiola, you need for all of this magic that you bring to the game, for all of this dynamism, you need to put some more Champions League on the table. Man City now deserve to win it. And I think that Man City are very close to it anyway. They are close to it. They played in 1 finals and lost. They played the semi-finals under Pellegrini and lost. I think this is about the best team they've got. The question now is for them to stay fit, avoid injury for Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez, Haaland at crucial times. Okay, and then this is going to be like this is a season that we've never seen before. Even for me, when people say, okay, that we should do prediction this season, I'm worried. I don't even know how to analyze and research. So let me give you a very good example. In October, you play an entire season fixtures in October. And then in November, you play 2 games, and then you have to wait. If you're playing the Premier League, you have to wait till Boxing Day to play another game, and then play 1 game before the end of the year. So in November and December, in a league like the Premier League, you play only 4 games in November and December. So it's a crazy league to predict. Players are going to be tired, there's going to be fatigue. But then if you're paying you the things that they're paying you, and you have the kind of medical support that you get, and the officiating have been way better, the tackles are not as hard as they used to be, you've got to play those games. But to predict it is not very, very difficult, because the stars and the galaxies are not aligning the way it used to. So it's very, very hard. Okay. Olushaye Ogundala said, good morning, Elegote. I read that Tottenham is trying to hijack the Jesus deal. How was the report? Okay, yeah, they're trying, but they've not put in a bid. Arsenal put in a bid. Man City rejected it. But the good thing is, Gabriel Jesus wants to go to Arsenal. As a matter of fact, today or tomorrow, his agents are flying in from Brazil to come talk to the Arsenal management. So, but Arsenal, not London. Arsenal is in not London. Tottenham are in not London. So they can have a talk. If the talk doesn't go where it goes to Tottenham Hotspur. If Tottenham Hotspur takes Gabriel Jesus, it's Arsenal's failure. It's Arsenal's doing, because Gabriel Jesus and his team wants the Arsenal deal to go through. That's the place that he wants to play. Because sometimes you want to play under a coach that knows you, and his system is similar to where you are. The Man City system, the Brazilian system, the Arsenal system, they all have similarity. And another edge for him is that you're in the company of a lot of Brazilians in this team that will make you settle in easily. Because coming from Manchester, where it rains a whole lot, to London again, the whole of England, it rains a lot anyway. But Manchester weather is worse. Manchester rain. If you live in England, you understand this thing I'm saying better. I think that it would love to settle at Arsenal, but that doesn't mean that the bullish nature of Spurs right now, Arsenal should not take it for granted. But I think the deal will go through. I don't think Spurs would readily pay 50 million. The only way to trump Arsenal right now is for Spurs to bid 50 or more million over Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal will go over 50 million anyway. But they could try 45. As it is, Arsenal wants to buy that player because they made a bid for 30 million, they turned it back, and they still went back. So it means that they want to buy him. But I think they're looking at 40 million, or at worst 40 million plus add-ons. But Man City does not want add-ons. They have too many add-ons in players that they've sold previously. They don't want any add-ons on this. They just give us our money and let's go. That's what they want. But we'll see how it goes. Arsenal are still in the driver's seat. They are still in pole position. But, like we've seen in Formula 1, pole position does not mean you would get to podium and win the race. You can be overtaken. Overtaking is allowed. I just hope that they will not allow that to happen. And Olusha Guna said, Simeone also won the Spanish league. Okay, yes, Argentine. There's Diego Simeone. Dijala Ufoma, he said, I am really concerned with the new owners of Chelsea. Me too. I am very, very concerned. They actually seem confused. Still setting up the structure this time when they knew 3 months ago. This looks more familiar with 2015 cabinet. Okay. Well, it's their money. It's not their business. Okay. And the fans can say whatever they want to say. Like I always say, sole ownership is something that fans don't really have power on. It seems like Barcelona fans have power. It seems like Real Madrid fans have power. But it seems like this, fans don't have the powers. Okay, if it is German Bundesliga, fans have the power. This one, somebody is spending his own money. He's invested that much money, 4.7 billion to buy the club. You must have. You don't want to tell me that he took the money out of his pocket. That money was obviously a loan. Took a loan. Even if you have the money, You can't be a billionaire and just be taking your money. Rich people don't do business with their money. That's one thing you know. And then the thing again, you can't tax a loan. So let's understand the way businessmen do their business. You can't tax a loan. So they've taken a loan. The club now needs to make money to pay back the loan, and they also make interest for them. There is a whole matrix to all of those business dynamics that comes in when it comes to doing business. Having said that, though, I think that it is better to set your structure right than to play to the gallery like the Glazer family and then put your team in 10 years or 20 years of jeopardy like Manchester United is. No shades at Manchester United, but just an example or reference that I'm making. So you can understand all of that. I don't want to blame them, like really whip on them and say, oh, they are too slow. I mean, August, this is May. They just finished last week of May signing these papers and doing everything. I'm very, very certain as they are, lawyers are still going back and forth on things. Monies are still being transferred here and there. So let them take it easy. And then negotiations will obviously go on. Mariana have been right the ear and eyes of Roman Abramovich for the entire reign of Roman Abramovich. So she also might be wondering, do I want to work with these Americans and Russia? You know, the way Roman was kicked out of the club is also going to look like a betrayal if she decides to stay. The only reason she will want to stay is if she gets the blessing of Roman 100%. And knowing Roman who he is, he might be giving the blessing in public. You know how when we're growing up with your parents, you go and visit somebody else and they will call you to come and eat. Your parents will say, I say, go and eat now. But you know that what your mother is saying is, if you eat that food, you don't die. So it could just be that kind of situation with the Roman Abramovich situation. So they are also looking, if we want to get to somebody, we must get somebody that is way, way above Mariana, not somebody that is below, because she has set a very high standard and it's going to be difficult. So I think Chelsea fans should be a little bit patient on this one. Victor, what I will say, English coaches are average. They are good with mid-table teams. You can't even see them in the top 4 teams in the EPL. Okay, thank you very much. Akimbola Alanre said, what are the chances of West Ham United this season, considering how David Moyes was able to galvanize the team to perform last season? He's done well, but then they are letting some key players go, and then they're going to bring in some new players. David Moyes, if you study the history of David Moyes too, David Moyes get one good season and go like 4 seasons off. So if you look at the teams that are in the Premier League right now, some of them are going to get better. Man City will still be the top team. They still win the league. Liverpool will still be the top. We don't know where Chelsea will be right now. Chelsea are looking like a team that will not even make the top 4 next season. And this is too early. It's too early to say Chelsea fans now. This is where Victor Malalu would lose the friendship and blow up stay with me. But like I'm saying, it's too early to make those predictions. I've said this time that this is going to be the season where my prediction will really come late. But for predicting who will win the league, I already predicted that one since Man City wins the league. I still see them in the semi-finals or finals of the UEFA Champions League. That's a very different competition to predict. But for winning the league, Man City wins it. I give it to Liverpool for 2nd position. It looks like Spurs are in it for business, but not to win it anyway. I don't think that Spurs... the day will come where I'll start looking at Spurs as a title contender in Premier League. The best season they had to win it was 2016. They still end up in 3rd. Leicester City won it. Arsenal came 2nd that season. Having said that, though, I think that it seemed like Man United, if they get their transfer right, they just might also nick it into the top 4. Arsenal, at the rate at which they are going with their transfer, I'm still going to wait because there's only 2 lightweight players that have come in, or 3 lightweight players. The goalkeeper Turner, who's the backup goalkeeper, Marquinhos, who is the 19-year-old lightweight. Saliba is coming back, but that's an Arsenal player already before. And then Fabio Vieira, who I also at 22 could also fall into the lightweight. But if, say for instance, if at the end of the day, Asensio comes in, Yuri Tillemans comes in, Gabriel Jesus comes in, they bring in another striker, automatically install Arsenal in the top 4. Spurs will not be in conversation. Let's leave all this stuff that we're talking about Spurs is because there was a window where Arsenal couldn't beat Crystal Palace, Birmingham, and one other team. The 3 teams that they lost to straight up. All Arsenal needed, if Arsenal had won one, all this talk of Spurs making the top 4 will not even be a conversation. So I'm not even going to mention them. So that means West Ham is not really going to be in the conversation. They just might be in the top 7, top 8, but let's not talk about West Ham and top 4. So, that's asking for too much. Let's be let's even be fair to Moyes and the teams that we've got. It's not a conversation. Stepmanic says, who will win World Cup? I think Brazil or Germany. I don't think Germany will win the World Cup. Germany does not have what it takes to win the World Cup right now. I also don't think Brazil will win the World Cup. The World Cup is going to take place in Qatar. Argentina is looking like a team that is reborn. I'm worried about them. I'm scared of them. They do look like a team that can do something. The team is looking reborn. But I will make my prediction. I'm going to hold that one back a little bit. This World Cup is a different kind of World Cup, but I would get my prediction across as the season progresses. Maybe somewhere in October, I'll be able to look at the teams I'm sure of, or maybe 90% of the players that will go to the World Cup, and then I'll be able to place my prediction on that one. Olatunji Emmanuel say, you've said a thing about Ajax having a playing system, making them not to fit in quickly when they move. Should that make United worry about making a move on his former player? Yes, I said it before too that I don't like my team signing Ajax players. Okay, there was a time when it was a good thing to sign Ajax players when you have the Overmars of this world, Finidi George, the Clarence Seedorf, Edgar Davies. But after that generation, the Clivert, the Frank and Ronald de Bois, the rest of them, after that generation, Ajax became a real system team. So there is a particular system they play, and then they groom them pretty early and bring in maybe some struggling players to fit in the system, and then they just go. The problem with that is you are supported. It's like giving somebody a prostate to run with, and you now take the prostate away and you tell the person to come and run with regular people, to go through the normal stress, the pains, the struggle of running. There's going to be a struggle to fit in. Look at this carefully, because before we even say, Idafe is saying all of this, let's look at the guys that have gone through that. Matthias de Ligt, fantastic with Ajax, went to Juventus, neither yet nor there. Frank de Jong, fantastic with Ajax. Man, he was a beast. Since his arrival at Barcelona has really not shown that beast mode. What's it called? Van der Beek, Memphis Depay. These guys that come from the Dutch league. There is a system that they play in. Sometimes when they go out of this way, you now need to bring your own ingenuity, your own genius to play. Sometimes it's very, very hard. And then let's not forget that the Dutch life is a very simple, easygoing life. So you go to other places, other culture where you need to battle and survive. It's always hard for them to do. Barcelona is practically one of the best teams for them to go. But today, the current Ajax, Barcelona is way, way, way too upgraded and too advanced for them. So they struggle. They might struggle, but where I think that the Manchester United advantage comes in this one is you're not leaving Ajax to go play for Manchester United under a different coach. You're leaving Ajax to go play for Manchester United under your type of coach. And then Manchester United also have this thing now that they have to be humble. Okay, so under LVG, they were still full of themselves like, oh, we are Manchester United, you have to play the Man United way. I think Man United have accepted, with signing Erik ten Hag, they've accepted that, see, that's our way that they work. If they work, for the win since. So, coach, come and build and reform. Like what happened with Barcelona, over a long period of time, they want to do it their way. And then Johan Cruyff came in, and Johan Cruyff make them understand that this is your way, then they work. Let me bring the Dutch way and bring in total football and see. And then they won their first Champions League. And from that moment on, it became a different thing where they had Stoichkov, Koeman, Pep Guardiola, Romario, all of those guys that won that squad, that won that thing. And then, from that era, they started believing that, okay, we can't do it the Basque way, the Catalonia way, but we can do it the tiki-taka. We cannot take total football, and instead of calling it total football, we'll not call it what we want to call it, tiki-taka. And you see how it works for them. So I think that's the Manchester United is an entry level of that ideology, where they now have accepted that we have tried Moyes, who was supposed to continue the Scots tradition. It didn't work. We gave a Welshman halftime. We just knew it's not good enough, Ryan Giggs. We brought in the legendary special one, Jose Mourinho. It didn't work. We went and brought in experienced Dutchman. It didn't work. We now brought in our DNA, somebody who's steep and deep and marinated in our way. It still didn't work. Now we brought in the father of Thomas Tuchel and Pep Jurgen Klopp, the inventor of gegenpressing. It still didn't work. So now we are open. You know where it says, come unto me, all you that are labored and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Manchester United are now coming unto me, and they are all labored and heavy laden. They need that rest. I think they will open themselves to letting Erik ten Hag do what he wants to do. It's just the same way with Arsenal. When Arsene Wenger was let go, they brought in Unai Emery. Unai Emery came in and did it the Unai Emery way, but trying to mix it up with the Arsenal way. It didn't work. When they brought in Arteta, you remember that meeting that Arteta went to the US, to Denver, to go and meet Stan Kroenke, and they had that conversation. That was the point where I kept saying to myself that if Aubameyang gets sense, what he did, he was dumb. He was very, very stupid. If he gets sense, before a coach gets to the level where he's not sitting with the owner of the club, you know that there's some step up in trust and power. Okay, coaches that clubs wants to sign. You know that LVG, all those coaches that coach Manchester United, none of them start with the Glazers. It tells you a whole lot of things. So for that to happen, it means that Arteta is trusted at some level. And Arteta must have sat down with the man and said, look, Oga, this is what I want to do. What do you want? Oh, I want to reduce costs. Okay, I can do it. But when I do it, this is what you give me in return. Because a quid pro quo, it's not just a one way. Okay, I will kick these guys that are earning big money, I'll fire them, we'll cut down the salaries, the highest earner will not be up to 200,000, but at the same time, you will give me this much power, I need this much power, I need money, because you have to negotiate. I can't do this for you if you're not going to do this for me. So that negotiation puts Arteta in a place of power. If you look, when he came back from that meeting was when he was powerful enough. It was somewhere in October last year, so October, November, and Aubameyang got to go. He had already made his decision. Aubameyang will go. Then Aubameyang left. Granit Xhaka now fell in line. All of a sudden, Granit Xhaka started playing well because every other player now realized that this coach is different now. Probably they see what happens in the corridors of power and see that the coach is a little bit more feared now by the management and everybody, so they give him respect. And look at what he's done. They gave him 150 last summer. He spent 150. Now, again, he's demanding for 200 to 250, and they are giving to him. Name any other coach, even as a Wenger, that they've given that kind of money to spend. It tells you the kind of power that they've reposed on him. But that's because Arsenal have also agreed that in the last 10 years, in the second round of Wenger's time and the post-Wenger, we've not really been the Arsenal that everybody knows to be. So now we have this man. We're going to trust him to rebuild, and he's rebuilding and reforming them after its own likeness and ideologies, even though it's still the Arsenal way. And everybody is agreed. I think one of the ways where Arteta has won the heart of everybody in the management side is the fact that he was able to keep the young players coming from the academy and also allow the people like the former Per Mertesacker and the rest of them to work with the youth team completely and reorganize those backroom stuff, and then get these people like Emile Smith. Now he's gotten Eddie Nketiah, Bukayo Saka, and a few other of those young players in. The way he's managed to put them, no business. I'm an entrepreneur. No business likes to spend money, even if it's going to give you something. You rather find a cheaper way of achieving that success. And I think that's what is done for them. So now they're giving that money. He goes again and spend and bring in these players. Then they'll say, okay, what are you going to give us now? Give us Champions League qualification. You know, being a coach of Arsenal is very, very easy. Okay? If Pep Guardiola ends in second, it's a failure. If a club ends in second, it's a success. That's why he chased them to the very end. They lost by a single point. Yeah, it's a success. But if Arteta makes fourth spot, it's a success. If he manages to win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, it's legendary. So it's different conditions for different people. But I think that's what Manchester United would not put themselves in, where they will say, okay, let's do it this way. So for that, I think it might just be the advantage that players coming from Ajax would have. But then again, there's another side to it. Antony is not a Dutch player. You know, so naturally, players from other country would always fight for survival. So let's see how that goes. It just not work for them. Stepmanic said, I think the only solution for Man United is to beg Alex Ferguson to come back. No, that's not even going to work. I know he is old, but it's only he that have the secret to Man United's success. I think it's actually the problem. It's the one that destroyed the team. If he comes back right now, there are no coaches, there are no referees that he can bribe. Let's not forget that one, because nobody's going to convince me that Alex Ferguson was not bribing referee or influencing referee decision. You can't convince me. I don't know how you want to say that, but I know that of those 13 trophies that Man United win, 7 or 9 of them were aided by match fixing. I leave the insult to Rain or the argument to Rain, but that's my position. You can say whatever you want to say, but it's obvious for the naked eyes to see, but it's just that sometimes something can be in front of you and you still not be able to see. Chooks Pascal, I say good morning, good morning to you. It's been a while. They say I've been impressed with Arsenal dealing in the transfer. I'm not impressed here to we've been linked to players that we've not signed. Dealing with in the transfer window so far, but not happy that the midfield area of the team is not being addressed. Xhaka needs to be replaced. He don't go. Are you replacing somebody that's not gone? You have Lucas Torreira that at worst will come back. You have Granit Xhaka. You have Thomas Partey. What do you replace? Now, if you are you to run the business, I say you go run now. They just brought in Fabio Vieira now. There is the hope that they will bring in Yuri Telemans. You're still saying that Xhaka needs to be replaced. You're not going to sell him before you can replace him. How can you replace something that you've not let go? Bros, calm down. Chelsea fans should not expect it to be business as usual. Baba Logo is no longer there. So it's time to pinch money now. Top 4 should be their priority for the time being. That is if they would even make it. Victor Malawi say, better. I beg. Wish us well. It's not about wishes, it's about the reality of what we see. I will expect Chelsea to make top 4 considering the caliber of players Chelsea have. Argentina has what it takes to win it. That's the World Cup. Favor Ozoji, he said, will it be a good idea for a club owner to be a club chairman at the same time? You can't be a club owner and be a club chairman. Also, what do you think is Todd Boehly's objective? I don't know yet. It's just what the club is not stated anything. We cannot put words in his mouth. Okay, Luigi NG. No, before that, there was a message on Instagram. Okay, Stefanik say, I don't think he bribed. That man, a real coach. He can turn 3-0 in 90 minutes to 3-3 in added time. That's the bribing. That's not coaching. I don't agree with you. There's bribing. Man United, they don't score goal against Man United. Referee say no see goal. I've seen it so many times. So it's not conversation. Goal, enter net, finish. The Bellama referee say not be good. Those ones not be coaching. That not match fixing. If you happen now, common yellow card where Granit Xhaka take and the red card. Now they see the probe thing. Now, if you happen with any of that thing, they will probe it. So you cannot convince me. The whole turn of event when it comes to Silas Williamson is like repeated. It's overdone. So it's not. That's not coaching. All those things is not coaching. Luigi _NG said, Raphinha to Arsenal. What do you think? Also, do you think Guendouzi should return to Arsenal? Guendouzi is not coming. Forget about Guendouzi. It's not even a conversation to have. It's not coming because him and Arteta don't see eyeball to eyeball, and he's been insulting him and saying all sort of rubbish. It's not coming to Arsenal. That one is not even going to work. Lucas Torreira might come back if he doesn't get anybody to buy. Even Hector Bellerin might come back at the end of the day. It's just that they'll be frozen at it. If they know what's good for them, they should go. The thing with people like Arteta is they are mean, but you don't know that they are mean. Very, very mean, and then they don't have power. Okay? So it's not like Edu is one kind of a superior that was plucked out of somewhere. Edu is also trying to make a name for himself in the industry. So it's got to be parley with the coach. It's not the kind of, oh, I put it to you that you must do this kind of position. He doesn't have that kind of authority. It's not a Mariana, it's just a football director. So he needs to really work alongside the coach. So I don't think Guendouzi is going to come back anyway. Marcel should sign him up completely. Noel Turin, my Juventus brother, I say I'm still hoping Juventus can get a proper support striker. Yeah, those have Vlahovic needs somebody to support him. And the way Juventus are doing their business is unlike Juventus that I know. By now, Juventus would have gotten some free agent players, getting somebody. By now, they'll be talking. Okay, Habib Ayodeji say, what of Alex Ferguson's 2 Champions League? I'm not talking of the champion. We're talking Premier League. This is how people do. Will you be having one conversation? They will not divert the conversation into something else to bring it up. I've never questioned Alex Ferguson Champions League win. I said 7 or 9 out of the 30 Premiership. For me, I see match fixing, the hand of match fixing in it. See, listen, I'm not saying this because I just want to banter my United fan. I play football. They'll fix a match where you even play. You don't know so they fix a match. So it's not like, oh, match fixing is a lie. Match fixing happens every single day, every season. 2 seasons ago, in the COVID year, they fixed the league for Man United to make the top 4 and kick Sheffield United out. They also fixed the league for Watford to be relegated and Aston Villa to stay. It's clear in our eyes, like it's there, but people will pretend like they're not seeing it. With VAR, it's even worse. Match fixing is now like mechanically worse. Okay? So, but I mean, let's leave it. Interpretation of rules are interpretation of rules. People come up and say all the things that they want to say. But let's just have fun and enjoy football, because if you take away that excitement, it's gone for the business. It's also gone for the fans. But it's a business. Remember, It's not just a game, it's a business. And the business operators decide what they do and how they want their business to go. It's just a fact. Okay, Saviki, he said, Man, you always get injury time penalty under Ferguson. Even their game against City in one of the title decider in 2019, 2019-11, I don't understand. 2011 was a robbery. The match went beyond added time to additional 5 minutes until Man United won. Say there's a long history of it. You could pick the games and show that, come, this is match fixing. This is obviously match fixing. And then the rules are always bent when it comes to Man United. Haven't you noticed that? Liverpool traveled from Liverpool to Man United to Old Trafford. This is just 2 seasons ago. Not even saying as Alex time. Man United fans interrupted the game, stopped the game from being played. The game was postponed. Nobody was punished, no fine, no sanction, nothing. They rescheduled the game and life goes on. Let Everton or Norwich or Sunderland or Leicester, anybody try that nonsense. We'll go see how the laws will come out immediately. And then there were things that coaches will say in other clubs, they will get punished. Alex Ferguson will say it and nobody will say anything. So Alex Ferguson that had the guts to ban BBC from their training and their matches for God knows how long. Come on. I mean, let's look at these things from the realistic point of view. Now there are separate laws for one team and then there are separate laws for other 19 teams. Well, it's in yesterday's history. Let's not even kill ourselves about it. But having said that, let's go down to what we've got here. What's the Victor? He said our web connection. He always award injury time penalty to Man United. Be honest, he said Man United's win against Arsenal that ended. Oh, clear open diving, but the referee point of penalty. There are too many incidents that you can look back and you see. There is human error, I agree. But these ones are not human error. Human error cannot just be working only in favor of one team. That kind of human error calls for... See, let's not just look at things from the position. Is that something to listen? Why I think it's something to listen? Let's not just look at... Why am I always blushing when I talk about something to listen? God. Let's not just look at football from the old, banter this club to that club. Let's look at football sometimes from... Don't take what the media tells you. Look at the game with your eyes and take a decision. Because sometimes, the media, I agree, but sometimes the media lies to people. The media gives you what they want you to hear. Let me give you a very vintage example. The season just ended. What's it called? The season just ended. Kevin Bassey made it to the team of the year, Europa League. Then there was insinuation that Aston Villa wants to sign him. Follow this narrative. Aston Villa wants to sign him. All of a sudden, one guy wrote a very long editorial that Kevin Bassey is not good enough. He left Leicester City 2 years ago in the year 2020 to go and sign for Rangers, blah, 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 blah. He's still a kid. If he comes to the Premier League, what's it called? Jack Grealish will shred him. Let's be objective. And so many people took it that Kevin Bassey, some people were even not saying he shouldn't play for the Super Eagles because it's not good enough. Now, let's be objective with that line of thought of the writer. Even if he is that bad, how many matches would Aston Villa play against this Man City that we're talking about? How many teams in the Premier League, even with the world-class defender, can beat Man City? If Man City is the yardstick to judge how a player is good, is that already a biased opinion? It's like saying because you play against Real Madrid and you lost, it means your team is not good. No, that's bias. Now, they went further down, and then if you see that same person said that Hick is good. This one is good. I'm picking some players that didn't even play in European competition last season. But a player who made it to the team of the season is not good enough because now nobody have anything to write. He's not an Englishman per se. He's a black boy. He's chosen Nigeria. Maybe they're angry. Everybody now wants to write about it. And guess what? You're not seeing Nigerian media bouncing off on that conversation and taking that. Forget that that's a journalist like you. That's a writer like you. Is entitled to his opinion, but because he said something about your player, that's the thing. Again, let me tell you another thing that creates unnecessary bias. We know that the name of a player is Ibe Chukwu. Ibe for short, right? We all, I remember Zibrila was always causing problem. We all started calling the boy Jordan Ibe. Is the name Ibe? Is the name Ibe? But this same Nigerian media will tell you, who you have to pronounce the name where it's Syria A, not Syria A, is Ligue 1, not Ligue 1. You just think about that for a minute. It's neo-colonialism because Oyibo man talk and not me say correct. Sometimes use your eye, judge what you see. You can score a goal, get inside the net, they bail him out, referee say not say anything, and it's human error. So because Oyibo might just say the word is human error, you agree? No, you can't agree now. If that happened in Nigerian league, you go say that the Nigerian league no get ahead. If that happened for any background, anybody use like that way match, I go say Nigerian league no get ahead. But when it happened for Europe, I go excuse that. We saw the Euros go on. We saw the attack with the attack people. We saw the finals of Champions League. But if that happened in the African Nations Cup, people say, oh, that's why the African Nations Cup is not respected. That's why it's not good. That's my point. Let's not always be too much in a hurry to defend what you go do. I'm not saying they are not perfect. If you read a Sunday book, for instance, you see the kind of things that coaches do to African players, and you ask yourself, is this normal? A coach told me one time that I should be happy that they even allowed me to come play in Sweden. That they happy. I told the coach back, I said, Coach, where I from the come? I play football before I come here. And then they paid my salary. Without coming here, my salary was enough because I already buy 3 cars before I come to Sweden. As a teenager, I don't buy a car. I bought my car for my mama and myself. That. So not even come here, come tell me, say you're not helping me. Want me to go and terminate my contract, I'll go back to go and play for Chelsea and I'll be very, very comfortable. You understand? But just think about it. But because when you go one will just jump up and so I lie. Sometimes when you go, they get them wrong. And many times too. Not be just us, they do things wrong. Beyond the suit, to say Manchester United win against Arsenal that ended Arsenal's 49 games unbeaten run is all the evidence I need. The officiating was disgraceful, as rares of blessed memory, and even the entire players in that team. Olarewaju Abdul, he said, good job, Elegote, being a silent follower a long time ago, always being an admirer of the work you do. Thank you very much. And for those people who ask me what's coming next on the podcast, it's What's the Wait. So just wait for it, but enjoy the Sunday Listeners one for now. Next week, we're going to bring you another episode. That episode is one to look out for. On Facebook, Evangelist Wale. Hey, Wale Alpha. That's my people. Evangelist Wale, because I say, good morning, Maoga. No, my bros. This were the Ajibotas when I was growing up. These were the Ajibotas in my neighborhood when we were growing up. At this school, them. Thank you very much. Evangelist Wale, you should know the person. You should know my sister that's a pastor. Yeah, you should. Maybe you don't forget. Richard just says, oh boy, we'll pass the time, but I need to read all these messages, all these plenty messages. Why is Barcelona just shouting about a player and later they hide behind the scene? Raphinha is now a forgotten issue. Bernardo Silva is now a forgotten issue too. They should stick to the team if they don't have money and stop disturbing the public about I beg. Big up, brothers. I greet you, especially. I greet you too. Don't worry. All will be fine. Barcelona are not that bad. Bello Rashid, they say, good morning, bro. Good morning to you. Please tell Barcelona to either accept offer or we move. Okay? They are the one in financial crisis, not we. We want to help. We want to help their ministry. Them see they do younger. Waiting the guy they play for safe. I beg. Let you find alternative. Ruben Neves better pass himself. Okay. And then we'll see Marco Jola and Adeolu versus make Manchester United Kuku sign the whole IAS team. Okay. Fanta Smith, he said, I just wish my darling Arsenal can make me proud this season. Come on, you Gunners. I think they will make you proud. Hey, okay, Mute. Mommy, little mommy, how you doing? Well, it's time for me to go, but before I go, let me read this last set of messages. Olusheye Ogundola said, Elegote is Elegote, period. Justice, he said, whenever I meet you, I always have joy from the inner mind. Dawn. Thank you very much, bros. Chika Ayalogu says, good show. What do you think of I want you to Nottingham Forest? I was just chatting with him this morning before I started my show. What do you think of Aribo replacing Tillemans in Leicester? Adewale Ojakere says, thank you for your comment. Thank you very much. Lord Mayor said, back at the do pity party. Nobody sent them. Okay, I think it would be good to see Joe Aribo in the Premier League. Leicester is not a bad club. They're a mid-table club, but they're not a bad club. I would love to see him there, play alongside Wilfred Ndidi. But you know this thing that I always say, that I don't like having too many Nigerians in the same club. It doesn't all go well. Okay, it used to be good in the past, but now it doesn't all go well. So that's my only worry. But I would love to see him play. The attraction to blue jerseys, Leicester, Rangers, all those blue teams. Well, I would love to see him come play. Right now, he's a very good player. Can play anywhere in midfield and eat and all that. So he should give it a shot. The Premier League is a better league than the Scottish League. Rangers obviously playing in Europe gives them a higher exposure in terms of European competition. But in terms of pay and all that, the Premier League is also good. It's not a young, it's young now, but it's not going to be young forever. I think he should take the offer and let's see. Also gives him a different dimension to his game and see how he plays under a bigger league with a lot more pressure compared to what he's got at Rangers. I think it's a good one if the deal is done. It's just a Wilfred Ndidi. I thought that by now Manchester United will be looking at Wilfred Ndidi. But I can understand that because I have a new coach and the coach has his own side, I'm sure that coach has not even heard of who Wilfred Ndidi is, because sometimes we might think that these Igbo coaches, they know it or they don't. So maybe nobody's suggesting that, and the fact that Man United don't really have proper scouting team before makes it almost impossible for them to even have that in mind. But let's see how it goes at the end of the day. Finally, the transfer rumors that we've got, let me just nail that down and then pack my bags and baggages and leave the studio. Arsenal are closing in on the signing of Brazilian forward Raphinha for Leeds United, with Barcelona interest in the 25-year-old having cooled off. Barcelona don't get money, that's just it. They can't pay 50 million for that player. Even if they sign it, they can't register him. Chelsea have joined Tottenham Hotspur in wanting to sign Brazil forward Richarlison from Everton, who want more than 50 million for the striker for the 25-year-old striker. Now the thing is, 50 million is not the new 200 million. Even Alan was signed for 51 million. So at least crazy transfer fee have got down. Marina Granovskaia, whatever her name is, the Chelsea woman who took charge of Chelsea transfer dealings under previous owner Roman Abramovich, is set to leave the club. She's not staying. So you see why Chelsea are in the kind of fix that they are in. This is a woman, this is the go-getter. This is a woman who goes to Roman and says, give me 200 million. And Roman says, yes, my babe, and gives her the money. And then she goes out there to deliver. Now they're going to go get somebody else. So you can't blame the new owner of Chelsea, because these are guys who are coming from the American side of town who really don't understand how the European thing works, but they are good business people. See, business people, they think about entrepreneurs. You don't become a billionaire by accident. Okay, the thing about successful businessmen is they would always find a way. It might slow, it might struggle, but they would always find a way. That's why they have money. Money answering all things. They will use their money to take care of the things that they don't know academically. Okay, West Ham are set to offer 30 million for 20-year-old Chelsea and Albania striker Armando Broja. The way everybody's talking about this player, you almost think that he's the new Bojan Kekik or is the new Messi, who impressed on loan at Southampton last season. I didn't see how he impressed anyway. Tottenham made contact with Denmark playmaker Christian Eriksen's camp a couple of weeks ago, but have not followed up interest in the 30-year-old former player who spent the second half of last season with Brentford. Manchester United new manager Erik ten Hag has told the club he wants them to sign both Eriksen and Barcelona's Dutch midfielder Frankie de Jong, who's 25 years old. Let's see if it works anyway. Manchester United have had a £55 million offer for Brazilian striker Evanilson, rejected by Porto. But the Old Trafford club plan to make a fresh bid for the 22-year-old. That's also a good player that he can get in, but would they be patient to let him settle in? That's another thing. Having failed to sign 21-year-old Dutch defender Jurgen Timber, Manchester United could make a move to sign East Aya's teammate Lisandro Martinez, who's also being monitored by Arsenal, that Arsenal wants to use to fill in the left side of centre back and the left side of the defense in cover for Tierney. Manchester United are also closing in on a 40 million signing of Aya's Brazilian winger Antony, 22. Okay, Brazilians don't like to play in the Premier League, but then some of them are already getting run since Gilberto Silva. So let's see how that goes. Paris Saint-Germain will launch a new bid to sign Inter Milan and Slovakia defender Milan Skriniar, 27. According to Fabrizio Romano, you always take his comments very, very serious. Inter Milan will also meet with Torino's Brazilian defender Bremer, 25, as they begin their search for a replacement according to the same Fabrizio Romano. Leeds United are mulling over a move for RB Leipzig and USA midfielder Tyler Adams, 23, as for Kevin Phillips' potential departure to Manchester City. Now we're talking. Okay, so what do they need Frankie de Jong for if they are going to sign Kevin Phillips? Well, they like to have 2 to 3 in the same position anyway. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola says he wants 27-year-old Portugal midfielder Bernardo Silva, who has been linked with Barcelona, to stay with the Premier League champions, but added he does not like to keep unhappy players. Players, who are not happy are not good to be in the club because they go from a flowing tap to a cancer, and you don't want that to happen. Aston Villa are willing to listen to offer for 27-year-old Scott midfielder John McGinn this summer. Nobody's going to come. Don't worry, stay there. Egypt winger Trezeguet, 27, is close to leaving Aston Villa to join Turkish side Trabzonspor for a £3 million fee. Nottingham Forest boss Steve Cooper, who guided his side to promotion into the Premier League last season, is on the verge of signing a new long-term contract, giving that one to celebrate his hard work that he's put into the club. Forest are in advanced talk to sign 24-year-old Nigerian forward Taiwo Awoniyi for a club record £17.5 million from German side Union Berlin. Well, Taiwo wants to play. I've always wanted to play in the Premier League. It's an opportunity. I may not agree with the club, but eventually I think that he can also shine well and grow from there. So I think it's a good one. I also think that Taiwo might be looking at his international career and say that, look, they don't really follow the German Bundesliga very well, because if you look at it, there's hardly a player in the German Bundesliga that makes it to the Super Eagles. There is Kevin Akpoguma there, nobody's looking at him. There is Taiwo Awoniyi, nobody's looking at him. So it thinks, well, in Nigeria, everybody always look at the Premier League. Let me come to the Premier League. If I score the same goals that I'm scoring for Union Berlin, for Nottingham Forest, obviously I'll be top of the list, because if we are rushing after Emmanuel Dennis, compare Emmanuel Dennis to Taiwo Awoniyi, I'm not trying to like rubbish Emmanuel Dennis, but you see the whole love for players in the Premier League, and you say to yourself, well, why not go to the Premier League if that is the place where the spotlight is? So I think it's a good decision for him. However, Forest are set to miss out on Awoniyi. Forest are set to miss out on Awoniyi as he is planning to turn them down amid interest from a number of clubs. I don't think that's true anyway. I don't think that's true. I think the deal is almost done. Denmark midfielder Pierre-Emile Hojberg has been linked with a move away from Tottenham Hotspur, but Spurs have no intention of selling him. So I want to buy, I don't want to sell. That's how we get to stomach. The last message I'm going to take today from Instagram is Step Money saying Awoniyi should not jump to conclusion to see Maduka Okoye that thought he would play in the Premiership and now the Championship. Well, things don't always fall in like that anyway. You have to take your chances. A striker, if he comes in and score quite a lot of goals and then the club get released, he will still get somebody that will buy him. Naturally, not necessarily meaning he will go down with them. Do I think he should go there? I think he should, because somehow nobody's looking at him when he plays at Union Berlin. So he should go to a place where they would give him a little bit of opportunity to play. Having said that, this is why I draw the curtain on the show. Shooks Pascal, it's a nice one on neo-colonialism. Oyibo people don't over brainwash us. Thank you very much for everyone who's sending messages on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. God bless you guys. We overshoot by 12 minutes. For those of you who's asking why Emmanuel Sebastian is caught in traffic, and that's why he wasn't on the show, but practically we'll get here to come do the Nigerian Players GPS show. Until it comes here, my name is Sagana. You love to call me Dear Lagos on the spot. God bless you and have yourself a wonderful day. Remember, focus on what is good for Nigeria than what is good for individuals as we march towards the election. Ask the right question. If somebody says, I'm going to make petrol cheap, ask him how he will do it. If somebody says, I'm going to turn Nigeria from A to B, ask them how they will do it. From that answers, you can draw your conclusion. Don't put us more step backward like we did from 2015 up to now. God bless you and have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.